Hey everybody, it's Everyday Hockey. I'm Greg.
I'm Dale.
I'm coming to you from Canada's East Coast, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia.
And I'm coming from the shores of Hastings Lake, Alberta, just outside of Sherwood Park. Warm and balmy out here. How about out there?
Well, we've got lots of snow, but that's always a temporary thing in Nova Scotia. You get a ton of snow and then generally it melts, though it looks like we might have it for a few days here. So pond hockey will have to wait until somebody gets a shovel out and clears the ice, or all this snow melts away.
Yeah, I've tried that a couple times out here, and we've had so much freezing rain and everything. I've kind of given up. I don't know how some of the people do it. My hats go off to them. Like
maybe you have to do curling because it's pebbled with the rain falling. Eh?
Yeah, exactly. That's naturally pebbled.
Today's episode, we're going to talk about collecting, talk about hockey cards. And I know that, Dale, you are a collector. Tell us about a little bit about your collecting experience.
You know what? It actually goes back. I was really young. I lived I lived down the street from an Esso station, and this was in 1970, 71. This is how far back this goes. But they at that time they were selling these things called Esso Power Player books, and they were stamps instead of cards. But they're really cool. They're a really valuable item now. I have mine in hardcover. I don't have my original one, which was a softcover book that my dad had picked up. But every time you went and filled up with gas, you got like a sheet of 6 or 7 NHL stamps, and it was so cool. It was great. And so I ended up starting there, and just kind of picked away at the hobby for a few years. And then when I really hit my stride in grade 5. So that would have been the Philadelphia Flyers' second Stanley Cup year, which they were my favorite team. Bernie Parent was my favorite goalie. I'll never forget. I collected a bunch of cards, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting the set this year. I'm going to get the set of 1975, 76 O Pee Chee. And so I had a whole bunch of cards at school, trading with all the kids, getting the set. And I had a bunch of doubles and triples. And one of my friends at the time, Rob Boywitka, had a Bobby Orr. And I only had one, I think, at the time. And I said, hey, Rob, I'll trade you 100 cards for that Bobby Orr card. And he's like, no, I don't know. But he did. We made the deal. And I'm on my way home that day after school, and I stop in at the Red Rooster and lay down 10 cents for a pack of cards, open the pack, and there's Bobby Orr. So, but I was happy to have a couple of the extra ones. So, yeah, that started kind of my lifelong foray into collecting, and I ended up doing it until, like, collecting every year through elementary school, junior high, high school, into my adult years, right up until my 30s, and then I kind of put a halt on it for a bit. I've been back into it again.
Right. So from what the way you describe it, it sounds like you were collecting during the heyday of some of the really expensive cards that are like huge money now. I was looking it up, and it said that the 1979 Wayne Gretzky rookie O Pee Chee card, $3.75 million.
That's right.
If it has a PSA rating of 10, now what the heck's PSA?
So PSA is the grading service. It's pretty well the number one now. Well, it is the number one. So what you do is you take your card. When you have a valuable card, you take it and carefully put it in wrap, and there's a certain they have certain criteria you have to send it to them.
Mm-hmm.
And then they take a percentage of money from the value of the card. I don't know that part completely,
Hmm.
but there is definitely a fee that you have to
Hmm.
pay to get your card graded. But they're the standard. So
Hmm.
when you see a PSA graded 10 card, that's you're holding gold in your hands.
Right.
So
So I mean, to get a PSA 10 would mean that you may not have actually opened the pack and taken the gum out.
pretty well, although sometimes, yeah, sometimes it can go the opposite way where the gum sticks to the card and then there's a little, you know, there's residue or a rip on it or something like that.
Oh my
But
gosh.
I think from what I understand about the Gretzky rookie, I think there's only 3 or 4 perfect 10 cards in existence.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
and the reason why is the old factory of O Pee Chee in London, Ontario. I
Hmm.
think in that particular year, the blades that they cut the cards with were a little dull. So a lot of the cards that you'd actually buy back in that year, when you opened them, they weren't perfect tens because they were cut by like dull blades. Yeah, so there's only a small fraction that exist. I mean, PSA has it listed, which is great. They have the
Yeah.
official ones, but there's probably 5 or 6 more, or maybe 10 more in existence somewhere,
Right.
but
Right.
no one's sent it in for grading yet. So
So I mean, there's probably plenty of examples of guys that probably would have a PSA 8 or 9 or 10 card, but they did something to that card when they were a kid, and now they're kicking themselves.
yeah, exactly. Like I mean, I was such a Philadelphia Flyer fan in 1976 in the Stanley Cup final when Montreal absolutely dominated the Flyers and won the Stanley Cup in 4 straight. I took my Gila Fleur rookie and I drew John Lennon glasses on it. And yeah, the ultimate compliment to the great Gila Fleur, right? I saw there's a card, there's a guy, there's a website. I came across something recently where it was a guy saying, "Hey, show me your doctored cards and your heartbreak." And somebody had like a 1950s Mickey Mantle, and they drew a beard on it and had a like a Popeye pipe coming out, and yeah, it was just not
Oh,
good.
classic, eh? I mean, as a kid, I remember having hockey cards, but never really a collection. Like it would have been a temporary thing. Didn't keep them. Didn't collect like you, where you were sort of, hardcore at it every year. But I do remember, guys, taking a clothes peg and tagging their BMX bike with a card to make their bike sound like it had a motor.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I know. I used to do that with some of the common cards. I guess I knew enough about it. I didn't want to put my star cards to that kind of torture.
So now, how many cards have you got? Do you know, like, a rough estimate, or do you know exactly how many cards you have?
I knew because I sold my collection off
Hmm.
a few
Hmm.
years ago. Made
Hmm.
made some really good money at that time on it, and my new my new collection isn't very big. It's not. I don't collect sets anymore. The only thing I collect now is just individual cards, and that's how I'm building my collection, and that's something I highly recommend to anyone new getting into it. Just just go after your favorite cards and don't worry about like filling out a complete set unless your heart's really intent on it, because it can be quite expensive now, just the way the hobby's taken off, and especially the hobby really took off after COVID. Like
Hmm.
during COVID and after, it's just gone crazy, and that's in all sports cards,
Hmm.
hockey, baseball, yeah, all the major sports.
Well, that's an interesting thing about the pandemic. I mean, it actually amplified so many things, right? It was certain things got damped down, and then everything else just amplified.
Yeah, that's right. And
Pretty crazy.
in terms of hockey cards and hockey card collecting, yeah, it really boosted bottom lines for a lot of people,
Hmm.
and still continues to hold its value, which is really
Hmm.
good.
Um, Dale, what's in your collection? What's your favorite card?
You know what? Actually, I just got my new favorite card this year. This is gonna sound crazy because I've been a Bernie Perrant fanatic my whole life. Like,
Well, yeah, you're
yeah,
a goaltender yourself, so that makes sense.
Yeah, so everything was Bernie growing up. In fact, like I played grass hockey against older kids, and they go, "What's wrong with that guy?" Because every time they'd shoot on me, I'd go Bernie, like just like the Spectrum crowd and stuff. And but my favorite card right now is it's a 1973-74 Tops Ken Dryden card. It's a really rare card because usually Tops and O Pee Chee are the same, pretty well the same company. They created the same cards,
Hmm. Hmm.
except Tops was U.S. and O Pee Chee in Canada.
Okay.
And that was the year that Ken Dryden decided to go to law school and not rejoin the NHL. And so O Pee Chee didn't issue a card of his that year,
Hmm.
but Tops did. And
Okay. Okay.
it's kind of a rare card, but it's a really cool kind of series because it shows him in action. It's a great photo. It's a great
Hmm.
shot. And I bought it a few weeks after he passed away in September. And and then and then I was looking at that entire series of cards and the goalies that I liked. And Ed Jockerman had passed away, so I bought the Ed Jockerman card. Then
Okay.
I got the Bernie Perrant card, and then there was a Tony Esposito card that looks great,
Wow.
and then Billy Smith's rookie card that I bought.
Okay.
And
And so where do you buy these things, though, Dale? Where do you find them?
I'll either go to local card shop because there's
Hmm.
still some really good hobby shops in in Edmonton. There's some really good ones. I don't want to favor anybody over another. There's places in Leduc. There's places in near West Edmonton Mall. They have some excellent cards and they have reasonable prices and they're really good people to deal with. Either that or eBay. eBay is really eBay's a great hub for it. There's other places as well, but I don't know. I think Beckett too, because Beckett used to be the printing guide. It's an authority on cards, but I kind of just go with eBay. It's quite easy, and I'm able to look around because there's a lot of choices you can get. So you can window shop and get the card that you want. So in terms of the Dryden card, I didn't care if it was perfect, like a perfect
Right.
PSA 10.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just wanted the card.
Yeah. Just wanted the
Just
card, just as a fan.
just just as a fan. Yeah.
That's yeah. Well, that's cool. You know what? And sometimes I think that's maybe it's more of a pure thing. Where guys are out there collecting just for the dollar value, but the purity of just collecting because you love the player and you just thought, wow, wouldn't it be cool to have something that was depicting that guy?
Exactly. Like it's really interesting because I've been going to card expos and card. Sometimes they have like mini conventions and gatherings,
Hmm.
and they do have an annual card expo now in Edmonton, and
Hmm.
it's originally it was in Toronto, and then it expanded to Edmonton, and now it's growing across Canada, and that's where you can go and it's $10 to get in and walk around, meet the vendors
Hmm.
and see what's there, see what they have. And one of the things is oftentimes I've gone with my gut where you can tell when someone's trying to get the better of you. Many times I've walked away because, or I've heard things where, yeah, it's kind of like that guy, the pawnbrokers, that guy that always goes, I know that thing is $10,000, but I got to make a living, so I'll give you 2,000. Like I've run into those kind of people,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah,
Pawn
thanks,
stars. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, two thumbs up. Enjoy your money.
Yeah, you want me to buy that just based on emotion? I feel
Yeah,
sorry for you. No, I don't. Thank you.
yeah. No, it's like I know you're gonna buy this off me, and you're gonna turn around and you're gonna make 5 or 10 grand on it. So
Right.
like,
Right.
but
Okay.
to preface that, I've met some incredibly great people who have
Hmm.
massive collections or own stores, and
Hmm.
they're fair.
Yeah.
They're great people to deal with. So
Yeah. And that's the, I guess, true about anything. I mean, if you go into a retail outlet, especially small business, you're going to run into both, right?
that's it. That's it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I know, yeah, one thing I like to do, and I would encourage anyone to do as well, is to support both. Don't just go on eBay, but
Right.
support your local businesses.
Last episode, we were talking about hockey parenting. What about hockey card parenting? Dale, are your kids collectors?
Yeah. Yeah. My son got into it late. It was
Hmm.
interesting. He wasn't too interested in it in the beginning. And he didn't play much in minor hockey. He only played like a year and a half of minor hockey. And I kind of thought, oh well, he's not into this, but he's got some friends now, and he shocked me. He's really into it big time now, and he ended up getting his hands on a Celebrini rookie card, like a Young Guns,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and then he sent it in to PSA, and he got a 10 rating on it. Every time I check eBay, that or my oldest one of my older cousins, Lance, who's been a real hockey card influence on me, um, we check the prices and it's always going up. I think it's worth over $2,000 now.
Oh, wow.
And so now he's trying for Bedard's Young Guns card. So
Okay.
I think that's the 23-24 Upper Deck Series 2.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I have a 23-24 Series 1 Young Guns rookie cards pack here
Right.
that I thought we would open, and we'll do that shortly. If you were recommending a brand or a set for kids to start with, is there a brand? And now I know, with your work in hockeywriters.com, you have a connection with one of the card companies.
Yeah, and they are who I recommend. It's Upper Deck. Actually, since Upper Deck entered the market in I think it was 89, 90, they entered and they were a force right from the beginning in terms of
Mhm.
quality. Like there were like 5 or 6 sets the first time cards expanded from O Pee Chee, which had the exclusive rights.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then in 1989-90, I think that's the right year. That's when it opened up to like companies like Score and Bowman, which are uh, U.S. U.S. companies, and
Mhm.
then Upper Deck. And Upper Deck's the quality of the cards were just unbelievable when you open that card. And I got a little side story about that. My sister used to run a restaurant in Little Tofield, Alberta, and they had this guy come into the store all the time, into the cafe, and he really liked their food and said, "Hey, this is kind of a cool place for this town." And they got to know him. He would come in because he would be visiting his mom, and his name's Jerry Thomas, and he's the official photographer for the Calgary Flames. And so I got a chance to go down and have a coffee with him on a couple occasions now.
Mhm.
And he was the first photographer hired by Upper Deck. In
Wow.
He's that first set of Upper Deck cards is Jerry Thomas's photography. So shout out to Tofield there
Yeah.
and Jerry.
Shout out to Upper Deck. I know there's Series 1, there's Series 2. What do you
Yeah.
think about that?
Well, I'd say if you can, I would say go for Series 1 and Series 2.
Mhm.
Those are the big ones. Like Series 2 usually contains the rookies. Like this year, it'll be Matthew Schaefer. That'll be
Mhm.
the big
Mhm.
card. So those
Mhm.
cards aren't out yet, Upper Deck Series 2, but they'll be coming out later in the year. And
Mhm.
if you get a chance to get in on entry level cards on those, that's ideal in terms of like base price. I think Matthew Schaefer rookie's going to go through the roof. It's going to be incredible. Yeah. But another way that kids can collect and is Upper Deck has a free format online called ePack, and when you sign up, you can get free cards. And with some of the cards, and you can purchase cards too and stuff, and then you have both versions. You have the digital version of the card, and then you can contact them and they'll send it to you if you want the physical card. So I'm an ePack member,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's a great way to collect. I mean, it's
Why,
like,
why not? They're going
yeah,
to offer
so
you some free cards. Why not take them? Hey.
exactly. So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
nice for me now when I get a McDavid card or a Draisaitl card, or even Andre Vasilevsky, my favorite goalie right now. It's
Mhm.
kind of cool.
Now you have a we'll just get to a couple stories here, and then flip over to opening up this pack of cards and wrap her up. But
For
you have a
sure.
good story about how your card collection made a difference in your life financially, I guess, in a way, or sealed a deal. So tell us about that.
Yeah, for sure. My wife at the time and I were moving from Edmonton to Calgary, and we were looking for a new house in Calgary. Found a really nice one in a nice quiet community in Mackenzie Town, and it was the village of Prestwick. We found this house, and it was for sale by owner. So we went in and made arrangements on a Saturday to go and make this deal, or at least look at the house. So we go there. We really liked the house. What was kind of cool was the guy had a Bell satellite dish on at the time, and he had a hockey game on. And I remember the St. Louis Blues were playing at the time, so that was kind of cool. It was like, oh yeah, hey, this is cool. So anyway, we looked around the house, liked it. We're negotiating, making a deal, and we ended up being about $500 apart. And they weren't moving, and we weren't going to move from our price either. And then that's where the bells went on in my head, and I thought, well, the hockey game's on. Guy likes hockey. So I said, hey, would you take my Wayne Gretzky rookie in exchange, and let's call it a deal? And much to the chagrin of his wife, he said yes. And that's how we finalized the deal. So, and the good thing was, yeah.
Was it the O Pee Chee $3.75 million 10 PSA card?
No. It was a good card. I felt like it was worth the 500, and it was valued around that. Like it was a good deal. I don't know. I think it might have been a 4 or a 5 because as a kid I handled it, and I had a second Gretzky rookie anyway. But the second Gretzky rookie I had a flaw in it because I had it on my wall as a kid, and it had a tape mark on the back, so it wasn't perfect either.
But yeah, there it was, right? A card and another fan, and you sealed the deal. That's great.
Yeah, because when I showed up to at the lawyer's office with them, when we signed the paperwork, signed off on it, they handed me the keys, and I handed them the Gretzky rookie, and that was that.
Perfect.
And I was happy. I was happy. Yeah.
Of course. So I have a card story, but well, I'll just tell it. Connected with sports, and obviously, card collecting and actual playing the game is always been connected. And it's actually a baseball story because I was coaching Andrew's baseball team. One of the many coaches. With 5 or 6 parents that are involved in the actual coaching of the team, and I forget now whether it was t-ball or parent pitch or something like that. Anyway, I'm not even sure who was up to bat, and I'm going to say Andrew because somehow this kid managed to crack this one out into the field. And I'm coaching third base, and this kid comes, from second base. He's running towards third, and I got the old arm going like a windmill because it's far enough out in the field. There's no way somebody's going to throw him out at home. So I send this kid, but gee, I look at him and he's got his hand on his leg and he's limping away, Dale. He's limping, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. But I still got the old arm going, sending him home. So afterwards he gets into the dugout and I go, Wyatt, are you okay, man? Because I saw you were limping. And he goes, oh yeah. He says, I have my Pokemon cards in my pocket. He said, and I didn't want to lose them.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh. So after that, we had to say no more Pokemon cards in the dugout.
Pokemon cards are incredibly valuable now.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They are their own world.
Yeah,
they've taken off like crazy.
They're a different world than hockey, but for gosh sakes, they're a sensation, right? They're just a phenomenal thing. So
although I'm not going to be too disappointed that I don't have a Pikachu rookie.
Pikachu rookie card. Okay, so let's get to this. Wrap this up. I've got now it's the Series 1 23-24, and I just picked this up yesterday, and I'm just cracking the wrapper on this. And I understand there's guys out there that do like YouTube videos of opening them up and see who they have.
It's a complete industry. It's actually quite fascinating. It's really cool. I know Upper Deck has this really high-end set of cards called the Cup. They're like, it's pretty well over 1,000. It could be like $1,200, $1,300 for a tin
Right.
of like 5 cards, and they have the breakings on live on YouTube
Yeah.
and TikTok, and sometimes these guys are paying like, lots of money and getting a bunch of common cards, or they'll hit the jackpot and get a Connor McDavid rookie signed card, which immediately could buy you a new car.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Well, I know that there was it was look for all new and rare Outburst Silver Young Guns cards. So,
Right.
there's some really cool ones in here. I'm just open up the pack and personally, I'm a Winnipeg Jets fan, and so one of the first cards that came out was a Cole Perfetti.
Nice.
Great player. I love watching him because he's that guy who has no expression on his face ever. It's like he just stone face. Oh, I just scored. I just scored the winning goal in the Miracle of Manitoba. Like last year in the playoffs, the tying goal. I think it was the tying goal he got. But anyway,
was that in the St. Louis series?
Yeah.
Man,
beat
that
St.
was
Louis.
Incredible. That comeback.
Oh. 3 seconds left or something like that, they score the tying goal and then win it in overtime, which was just so remarkable. But I think the Jets last year winning the President's Trophy and all that kind of thing, my gosh, they lost the second series. They lost against Dallas, but they lost that series during the St. Louis series because St. Louis just beat them up so bad.
It happens, I hear it all the time about the Oilers because their big weakness is they can't play defense, but they do turn it on at the right time. And it's a lot of energy you got to expend, but who knows? The problem with that is you never know when you can go into the reserve tank to get it.
So my 2 favorite cards that I got out of this pack, I would have to say are Cole Perfetti and Jordan Eberle.
Nice.
Jordan Eberle card here. And just because my son played with Jordan,
right?
I'll tell you just a quick story about Jordan. When I was a young hockey parent, somebody said to me, "You got to come out and watch this kid play." And Jordan is probably 3 years older than Andrew. Anyway, so when Andrew was 6, he was 9 years old, kind of thing. And somebody said, "Come out and watch him." So somebody had told me when he was playing, and so one of the community rinks. Walk in and the place is packed full of people, and I kind of looking over shoulders trying to see. I don't see anybody that spectacular, Dale. I'm watching. I think, well, maybe this kid isn't everything that chalked up to be. And then all of a sudden this I see this little guy grab the puck. He makes about 3 or 4 moves, gets up to the blue line, makes a 90-degree cut and fires the puck over top of the goaltender's shoulder. And I was like, what am I seeing here?
Wow.
He was so much better than any other player. And I know that I talked about that spring hockey and the coach of that team had coached Jordan as well. He said that he was the only player he's ever coached where he could say to him, "Jordan, we need a goal." And Eberle would jump over the boards, go out, score a goal, come back to the bench and sit down. Humble kid, great, wonderful guy, and just a great player.
Maybe the coaches asked him when he scored that big goal for Team Canada, that was like on demand.
He was like that. He was like that. He Mr. Clutch, Captain Clutch, for sure,
Man.
For sure. But anyway, Dale, it's been great. Thanks for your great wisdom and advice when it comes to hockey cards. Maybe I've got a collection going now.
Hey man, that's cool. I would definitely say sign up for EPAC and just keep bringing them in. Thanks for listening, everybody.